So now we're at the Defy Cyril one last time at day 100. So the yes lead to the giant battle that granted us 15,000 BP. But now we're gonna say no. Comply. So let's see what ending we're gonna get. No, I can't do it. I don't want to lose anyone anymore. The battle is finally over. I want to carry on living with my friends all here. Dan.
Hey!
Let's do what Siri says. I can't risk your lives any further. Are you sure? You won't regret this? I'm already full of regrets. That's why I want to protect what matters most. Right now, that's everyone here. I'm making this choice to protect all of you. Takumi. Hey, are you having fun talking without me? I don't know what you're jabbering on about, but I told you what happens after this, right? Once the school transitions to attack mode, you need to evacuate to the schoolyard where the escape pod will be, okay?
Okay.
I'll be on my way then. Thanks for the memories, folks. Siri left with a smile, and all we could do was watch him. A little after that, Nozomi showed up. Takumi, everyone. Nozomi, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. But more importantly, your talk with Siri. Oh, you heard. Well, it's like I was saying. I've thought about it, and I don't want to lose anyone else. I feel like this is our only option. So we just follow the plan they made for us? I know it's not right, but I want all of us to finish this together. That's my decision. I see. Okay, if that's your choice, Takumi, then I'll accept it. Well, we'll live with our guilt. I agree. We got no other choice. I don't want to die for a bunch of strangers. They will hardly forgive us for invading their planet just because we stopped one attack. In the end, we'll just have to fight again. It will only continue that way until we end up dead. You're right. I intend to follow the decisions made by our team leader. I always have. Seeing as we've come this far, we might as well continue living, as ugly as we might be. We were all saying what we could to reaffirm our choice, but as we were talking, suddenly Nozomi let out a pained whimper and collapsed with a thud. Nozomi! I heard over. I felt a burning fever emanating from her body. You're burning up! It's okay. It'll all be over soon. It's like the cryptoglobin leaving my body is flaring up one last time. When this is over, the power of the cryptoglobin will be gone. This is the end of my time with this power my mother gave me. That's how it should be. This is the real you. Immediately after that, strange music began to play through the speakers. What the heck is that? I think I know. Listen, it's the music they play for graduation ceremonies and stuff. I've never been to a graduation though. My teachers hated me, so I didn't get invited. So you never graduated? No, never. Alright. So it started.
The most important moment of this operation will soon begin. Lost Defense Academy will now transition to attack mode.
Attack mode? What's going to happen now? Wait, be quiet. Do you hear that? It's mechanical. Something is running somewhere.
An omnidirectional attack will launch in 600 seconds. Special Defense Unit members, please evacuate to the schoolyard immediately.
It looks like it's time. Let's get to the schoolyard quick. If we stay here, we'll get caught up in the attack.
Right, let's get going.
Nozomi, wanna go together? Here, take my hand.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, could someone lend me a hand too? I can't see, so I can't move very fast.
Oh, for the love of murder. If you insist. But don't you dare tell me I reek of anything like that.
Am I forgetting anything? Maybe I'll stop to my room before I go.
And so, following the announcement, everyone began to make their way to the schoolyard. Better get going too. Alright.
Soon after I go to the schoolyard, everyone else started to show up as well. What's the deal? Nothing's happening! I thought I was supposed to go into attack mode! No, look at that! Tsubasa pointed up to the top of the school building. It was just like I've seen last time. Several huge missile turrets jutted out from the top of the school building.
So, that's attack mode.
Those are some crazy-ass cannons.
They're going to launch a bunch of undying flame missiles all across the planet, huh?
A weapon that can destroy all life on an entire planet. What a terrifying force.
An omnidirectional attack will launch in 400 seconds. Leading up to the omnidirectional attack, all defenses will be rerouted to the intercept system.
The intercept system. Come to think of it, I heard this last time too, but we never did find out what it meant. But I guess we don't need to worry about it anymore.
Special Defense Unit members, please board the escape pod in the schoolyard immediately. Repeat.
An omnidirectional attack will launch in 390 seconds. Special Defense Unit members, please board the escape pod in the schoolyard immediately. An omnidirectional attack will launch momentarily. Please depart immediately after boarding the escape pod. Repeat. An omnidirectional attack will launch momentarily.
An omnidirectional attack will launch momentarily. Please depart immediately after boarding the escape pod. Repeat. An omnidirectional attack will launch momentarily.
It's gonna happen any second now! We gotta hurry! I don't want to be burned to a crisp! Yeah, we just gotta get in that thing, right?
Wasn't this pod supposed to go to the artificial satellite? Will we be okay even if there's no satellite anymore?
Oh, it's alright. I reconfigured the destination. Saray. Even at the very end, you're still appearing out of nowhere. I come to see you off and wish you bon voyage. Did you say you reconfigured our destination? No sense in sending you to the artificial satellite when it's been destroyed, right? There's humanity left to meet you there either.
Did you realize? So you did realize that? I thought the shot of knowing they were gone broke you.
Oh, I don't break, silly. And humanity isn't gone. We still have her, Miss Nozomi Kirifuji. The will humanity wishes for Nozomi's survival. You're the last human left in this universe, after all. So after simulating the thoughts of all mankind, now they've been wiped out, they want to stake all their hopes on Nozomi? Me?
Yeah.
Yes, it is the collective will and wish of humanity to ensure the survival of Nozomi Kirifuji, the last of the human race. That is also why we must complete the mission as planned. I doubt the people of this planet will let the last human survive unscathed. It's all for her! All for humanity! So this will all be because of me now? Everybody on this planet has to die because of me? Oh, come on! The Futurans won't be all gone. We have 11 of them right here. You mean us? The mission has entered a new phase. Your survival is critical. What do you mean? Humanity has chosen a new path. Now that Kirifuji is all alone, it is impossible for the human race to continue. So should instead coexist with you, Futurans. And the hope is that you will interbreed and create a new humanity.
Interbreed?
Of course, we would like all of you to reproduce, not just Kirifuji. You! Ew, 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 ew. Guys, this is incest. The human and Futurant survivors will begin on a new era on this planet.
A new era? With just the 12 of us?
Which of you will have babies together? I have some idea pairs in my head, starting with... Cut it out, man! This ain't no time for jokes. Anyway, that's your mission now. Fuck! We're going to hit the reset button on this war, and you're going to build a peaceful world devoid of hate. We chosen few are going to purify this hideous, filthy world and build it anew. Bro, why are you gonna say it like a corny villain? He's right though. This coordinated attack is not the end. Rather, it is the beginning of a new history. A harmonious future for the new humanity right here on this planet.
If it's the highest price we're going to have to pay for this harmonious future. Yeah, even if they do say that there's no creation without destruction.
This was your choice, wasn't it? You wanted to live on, hand in hand with your friends. That's exactly why the will of humanity trusts you with your new mission. He's right, we chose this. I've already made my decision. I'm going to live on with everybody here, no matter what happens. We all want that. We'll just have to make it work.
20 seconds until the omnidirectional attack. Commencing countdown.
Can you continue the conversation inside the pod?
Special Defense Unit members, please board the escape pod in the schoolyard immediately.
Yeah.
Whoops, looks like it's almost time. I'll be saying goodbye for now. For now? Undying flames only affect living creatures, so I should be fine as long as the blast doesn't send me into space. Well, only one way to find out. See you later, if I'm still in one piece. It was then that I suddenly felt it. His presence. Xion! Looks like I'm just in time. Xion, you came! Yeah, but I don't have much power left. I really don't have time to say goodbye. I really only have time. You owe his last bit of extra power to the lack of unnecessary disruption. I'm sure all of you were conflicted, but I'm glad you made this choice. The one thing I want more than anything is for all of you to live on. That's my whole reason for being.
Xion!
It would be cruel of me to call you cruel for this choice. Because I feel that your lives are more important than the lives of strangers. I guess this is really goodbye. Everyone, thank you for everything. And farewell. You fought enough. Please live your lives happily and joyfully. And with that, Xion vanished, like a flame being extinguished. Xion! Happily and joyfully, as much as I want to grant Xion's last request,
It's just not going to happen.
we do far too much to live out our future with any sense of cheer or joy. We lost far too much. And we slaughtered far too many. The idea of ever smiling from true joy again was like an impossible dream.
Yeah.
No, you can do it. If you want to, that is.
60 seconds until the omnidirectional attack. Commencing countdown. Repeat.
So the pod lift off. The 12 of us aboard the escape pod launched into emptiness of space. We were completely overwhelmed by the sight unfolding outside the windows, unable to speak. And then we were just as overwhelmed by the beauty of the planet we made our exit from. That's the planet Futurum. The planet both humanity and the future ants risk everything for. Its overwhelmingly majesty and was so powerful that it seemed to consume all life and death. It was so beautiful that it made me feel afraid. The very next moment, my visions was instantly dazzled by a flash of light. The bombing had begun. The planet was enveloped by Xion's flame. Every last person residing on it burned to ash. This is the ending we choose. The very realization made me tremble and sob uncontrollably. In any other situation, I would never forget this moment for the rest of my life. Right. In any other situation. Sorey had said once last thing as the countdown drew nearer to its end of the schoolyard.
Yeah.
It will help you make your new world if you really need it. I'll help you. I'll help you live without your pain. What do you mean? Perhaps it's going to overwrite our memories. Our memories? I've already a new scenario for you in the infirmary before you're back. Huh? If you accept it, you can forget all your pain. You'll live a new life in this school. It may confuse you at first, but I'm sure you'll be able to. Live happily and joyfully, just like Xion wanted. But all these memories would be lies! What's wrong with memories that aren't real? If reality hurts too much, you can turn to fiction instead. You can live happily in the world of lies. There's no value in knowing that is or isn't true. What's important is how you feel, and how you connect it to your future. Yeah. All of this so you can live happily ever after, hand in hand. I won't force you, of course. Think about it while you're on your way back. The light that's once been so bright, it lit up the vacuum of space, slowly began to fade. What remained afterward was a planet that looked completely unchanged. On the surface, yet it was entirely different. It was empty now. No elders, no youths, no children. All of them gone. If it's true that planets have minds of their own, I wonder what this one is thinking. Will it accept us after everything we've done? I don't know. I have no idea, but we have no choice but to live on. We're the ones who have to press on and believe in our decisions. I've already made up my mind. Okay, so this is the ending that I have the other time. Day 1. Takumi Sumino.
Where am I?
I came to with my head resting on the wooden desk. My head still felt fuzzy as I tried to make sense of my surroundings.
Classroom?
Did I fall asleep at my desk? Is this my desk? How did I even get there? I don't remember a thing.
What happened to me?
Looking around the classroom only brought more questions. Okay, everybody is here, so even Nozomi and Yugamu are here. And Moko. Several others of my own age were also here. Each of them slumped over a desk, just like I'd been a moment ago.
Huh?
Oh shit, Eto's got his eyes. Where am I? Who are you guys? How did I get here? I've never met any of them before. Judging from the uneasy glances they were all throwing around, nobody else seems to know each other either. Just what is this place anyway? Some kind of messed up classroom? More importantly, I don't know why, but I can't remember anything. I don't remember anything either. All I know is the pretty girl next to me is my little sister. Where am I? Who am I?
I'm still in the same boat. All I can remember is I'm a beautiful pro wrestler.
A pro wrestler? Oh, so that's why she's dressed like that. Looks like everyone here has amnesia then. Amnesia? How are you so chill about this? I guess I just have that kind of personality. How bizarre. We only remember some part of our personalities and characters. For me, I remember I was raised in a family of physicians, but nothing else. Physician, not assassin. Wow.
I only remember that I was really popular in class.
And all I remember is how much I love humanity. He loves humanity? What does that even mean? Well, then the thing about me is I was raised in your average family in an average way, so I don't really have anything in particular. Before the boy could finish, something interrupted him. Everybody stand by, ready to greet your commanding officer. Words appear on the blackboard with the sudden chime of a bell. Greet your commanding officer? Did someone say commanding officer? That's me! Ah, what is that? Kill it! It's my pleasure to welcome you all to Last Defense Academy.
Last Defense Academy?
Yeah.
You were all transferred to this academy for a very special reason. Transferred? I have a mission for you to carry out here at our fine institution. There's something we need to do to protect at all costs, and that is... yourselves! We want you to protect yourselves!
Huh?
Ourselves?
Yeah.
You see, you are the final 12 survivors of an annihilated world.
An annihilated world?
Final survivors?
So you just have one important responsibility to handle here. You need to stay alive no matter what. You'll need to develop this planet and create a new civilization. You'll have to build this world from the ground up. You're free to develop facilities that can withstand environmental threats, or even to grow new organisms using synthetic DNA. You'll make friends, fall in love, and sometimes maybe even fight with each other as you join hands and live caring lives. Yours is not to reason why. Yours is just to live your lives. Now get out there and live like you've never lived before!
Ending number 2, Reset. Welcome to Last Defense Academy. So this is the Reset ending. Okay. It's called the Reset route for some reason. Okay, so let's go back here. Allow Eto to rejoin the team. We said yes last time. Are we gonna kill it again? We don't accept him. We don't accept him. Not one of us. Not one of us. Gooble gobble. Gooble gobble. Sorry, Eto, but I just... I get it. You have to spell it out.
Huh?
What? My other sense have been greatly heightened now that I've lost my sense of sight. That's not how it works! I already know that you're going to say next just from your general vibe. I can also sense how agonizing this decision is for you, so it is enough. You don't have to say anymore. I'm not interested in putting you in yet another painful position. Eto, who could blame you for not wanting me to join, right? Those glitched memories embedded in me may have been the root of cause, but it doesn't change the fact that I chose to do what I did. But you destroyed your own eyes too! Oh, I did it because I wanted to, and certainly not to garner sympathy. I knew something like this wasn't going to be enough to regain your trust. I knew it wouldn't conveniently make us friends again. I knew all this, but I still couldn't stop myself from holding out hope. I may lie to people on the outside, but I never lie to myself. It goes against my nature. Nozomi cries. Now that's that settled. If you allow this public nuisance to beat a hasty retreat... Retreat? Where? You're gonna leave? With your eyes like that?
The invaders will get you!
Oh, your ugly concern is most gratifying, but there's no need to spare me any. Like I mentioned, my other senses have been greatly heightened. I expect to have no issue handling any invaders I come across.
Oh.
Also, this won't be my first time leaving the academy. Probably know more about the outside world than any of you. It's still too dangerous. Just because I don't want you back on the team doesn't mean I want you to force you to leave the whole school. If you promise to stay in your cell and not interfere with any of us, you can stay. Have you forgotten this facility was built for the Special Defense Unit? It is no place for someone who doesn't belong. Am I right, Siri?
Yeah.
Da-da-da. Atsuki's correct. Anyone not recognized as an ally is naturally viewed as a dangerous element. An element that can only work to our detriment and never to our benefit. Therefore, he must leave. That makes it easier for me to get over my feelings too, now that I no longer have to put up with your unbearable voices and smell. You little piece of chicken shit. Always the same right down to the end, eh? I shall be responsible for seeing you off. I expect you haven't gotten to your newfound blindness yet and may have needed a bit of help getting around. This is my duty and obligation as your commanding officer. The commanding officer has spoken. The rest of you can just stay put. Not like I could see you Aegis smugs even if you did come. Besides, there's something I need to speak about in private with Saray before I leave. With me? If you don't mind, consider it my last wish.
Yeah.
Very well, you may tell me along the way. You're still considered a member of the Special Defense Unit while on school grounds. Thank you. very much obliged.
This is goodbye. Forever. You miserable freaks. And you may not think me sincere when I say this, but I pray from the bottom of my heart that you will win this war. Good luck.
After that, under Siri's guidance, I made my way carefully through Last Defense Academy and Total Darkness.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Siri. So yeah, we can see the scenes, but it's blurred out. They like traces. Here's a few days worth of rations as a farewell gift from me.
Huh.
Wow, this is surprisingly thoughtful coming from someone who only really cares about victory. I continue conversing with Siri as I walk next to him in darkness. It may have been the first time we ever had spoken at leisure.
Huh.
A manifestation of guilt for embedding those glitches into my brain? The effects were inevitable. The brain, especially the human brain, is a complicated organ no one completely understands yet.
Huh?
It was no mean feat getting everyone combat ready with the limited time and resources available to us. There was no time for multiple rounds of tests or verification, although we did conduct an endless amount of simulations. Yet even with that, out came someone like me. I don't know what to call this, but destiny. After Siri and I finished talking, I left Last Defense Academy behind. I remained cautious of my be-darkened surroundings as I moved throughout the Siri ruins, using my feet to fill the rubble. Even though I proudly declared I could handle myself, moving around in total darkness was still rather mentally straining. Down ruins. Darkness. 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 Everywhere I went, I was greeted by pure, unadulterated darkness, with not a speck of light to be found. I couldn't be sure what was on the road ahead of me. Did anybody come see me off, even though I said there was no need? Maybe someone watched me walking away from school until they could see me no more. No, that's not possible. What am I hoping for? Nobody there cares about me. I'm nothing but a traitor, bugged to betray. But then again, this terrible defect reflected the repulsiveness of its creator, mankind itself. And I was equally repulsive for allowing them to lead me by the nose all the time. By the time I realized that, it was way too late to do anything about it. I kept walking. My destination was second to last Defense Academy. Siri had given me direction on how to get there when I left. He said it would give me a place to hide from inclement weather, and that there were probably leftover rations there as well. Siri likely told the others I would be heading there. Once they learn I won't be ending up in the ditch somewhere, those who had been even the tiniest bit concerned about my welfare would surely be able to breathe easier. Personally, I'd rather they not feel a single shred of guilt, even if anything should happen to me. They didn't chase me out. I decided on my own that I would leave. Although Siri had given me directions, wandering through the ruins without sight, I couldn't tell from the life of me whether I was even going in the right directions. But if I wanted to keep going, I had to put fate in the path that I had drawn up in my mind. There was also one more thing keeping me going. I wanted to witness how things would turn out for the others on day 100. They were special to me, even if we didn't manage to become friends. To someone like me, who used to be disgusted at the mere thought of having to coexist with hideous humans, I know those were just fake memories implanted into me. Still, these were people with whom I had spent a staggering amount of time. Now we see a picture of them, but all the faces have been written over with Sharpies. Even after discovering they were actually empty inside, that everything has been lies, built on lies. They still chose to support each other and blaze a trail through destiny. There was nothing we could trust. Nobody we could lean on. Fake memories, fake goals, fake backgrounds, fake families, fake friends, fake love, and fake hatred. Empty vessels made of fabricated falsehoods. That was all me. That was all we were. What could such people even believe in? Yet they chose to believe in each other and to fight for each other to the end. Their revolting appearance, smell, and voice still disgust me to no end, but the feeling of camaraderie they shared was as real as they came. Watching them has made me forget all I had done and start wishing I could be a part of that too. Mortan ruins. But they weren't a lot naive. Gouging my eyes out as a show of my commitment was never going to be enough to convince them to let repeat traitor like me onto the team. I had been ready to face rejection, but deep down, just for a short, fleeting moment, I entertained the thought that they might forgive me after all. Such an indulgent thought that was, when I had become so naive. But now was not the time to dwell on such thoughts. I had to focus on walking. I'd arrive somewhere as long as I kept going. All I could do now was to keep walking and pray that I would eventually reach the second campus. Pray? No God would listen to the prayers of an empty shell like me. Da. Phew! Darkness clung to me. From the skies above to the ground below, all I could see was unadulterated darkness. No gradients, no flickering. Just plain blackness. I read in a book that humans invented fire out of their fears of the darkness of night. When I read that, I mugged them as weaklings in my mind. The birth of fire led to the birth of war. Humans would burn themselves up in the very same fire they sought. They would have been peace had they not created such a thing and simply endured the darkness of night. How weak and hideous. I remember thinking that once. Now, however, I knew how wrong I had been. It was not that they feared the night or failed to endure the darkness. They were afraid to not have light by their side. For light represented hope itself. And these eyes of mine could never see light again. Why was I feeling sad about that when I utterly despised everything I saw in this world? Da. Day 80X. Oh, he reached second to last Defense Academy. The main gate. But there's some smoke. Oh, this place. After a few days of non-stop walking, I stepped into a facility that felt all too familiar to me. Right, this is... It would appear that I managed to reach second to last academy after all. To be honest, I was beginning to wonder if Surrey had deliberately given me the wrong directions. Like, it took me a fucking week! I guess it's not as wicked. He's not as wicked as I'd imagined. Cafeteria. Naturally drifted in the direction of that cafeteria once I was inside. The layout of the school was almost exactly the same as the other one. Like I had been told. The place would shield me from the elements as I waited out the remaining days. There would be no fighting. I only had to wait here in safety until the missiles were launched and everything was over. But there were other 10 days left. I'd have to live in darkness until then. Or there was a faster way to end things. I opened the heavy bag that I've been carrying and traced my finger along that what was inside. 99 Skiet Nature. I knew what it was even though I couldn't see it. An undying flame bomb Siri had developed. Activated during Hemoanima and powerful enough to take out even Veshness. This miniaturized version was still more than capable of reducing a human body to ashes. Skins, bones, hair, everything would disappear. If Veshness comes to you, I would like you to use this before she absorbs your cryptoglobin. That was what Siri said when he handed this to me. However, I was not able to discern his true agenda. Did he really want me to blow myself up and take out Veshness with me, or was he simply giving me a tool to euthanize myself like an animal? There you are. I ran my finger over the detonator. Everything would end when I pressed this button while infusing Hemoanima into it. I would be free from it all. Free from my fake memories, false hatred, and empty existence. Free from the man called Eto Aotsuki.
Press it. Come on. It's all you have to do. Why can't you just press it?
My finger wouldn't respond, no matter how loudly and harshly berated myself. Even though I knew pushing the button was all I needed to do to be free from this pain, I still couldn't do it. Wanting to witness how things turned out for the Special Defense Unit was merely an excuse. The actual reason I couldn't do it was because... When I realized what this feeling was, I had to laugh despite myself. I was afraid. Afraid, fearful, spooked, daunted, anxious, just scared stiff. Death frightened me even when I had nothing to live for. How could I not laugh at the irony of that? Death was no different from a life without purpose. Yet I feared it. I put the bomb on the floor, my hands trembling. Then I sat down on the floor as well and leaned against the wall. As I did, the fatigue from the few days of walking got me and I felt groggy all of a sudden. My consciousness disconnected in the silent darkness. Wouldn't it be nice if Death visited me now, so that I would simply slip into an eternal slumber, never to awaken again? But no, I would never be allowed to enjoy such a peaceful end. Two days later. What was that? An unfamiliar voice screaming. I knew something was wrong when I woke up to that. I could always pretend like nothing had happened, but my feet were already moving in the direction of the screams. As I ran, the smell of fire was so intense it was burning my nose. It was the stench of fighting. The screaming was coming from multiple people. Were they trying to get away from something? I ran to the schoolyard and focused my hearing on what was happening outside the school. I could hear multiple sets of footsteps getting closer. Since I couldn't see their exact location, I simply waved in the general direction of the sound. Over here! I kept waving. That seemed to work. The frantic footsteps became louder and louder. I raised my hand to indicate I wasn't holding any weapons. As I did, the approaching group stopped a distance away from me. They were panting hard as if they had been running from a long time. Wait a minute, who are these people? Definitely not in the Special Defense Unit. Are they natives of this planet? Were you being chased? By whom? Nobody answered me. I didn't even know if we spoke the same language. Couldn't have been Takumi and or the others chasing them. So, invaders? You can hide here if you want. This place was destroyed a while ago. It's unlikely anyone will come looking for you here. Still no response, but I could sense that they were listening to me. The cafeteria here is stocked with more than enough food for all of us. The mysterious group wasn't moving at all. I didn't even hear them whispering among themselves. They were probably communicating with each other non-verbally. Or maybe they were trying to decide who would get to attack me first. After all, to the natives of this planet, I was the invader. In case you haven't noticed, I'm blind. I don't know how many of you are here and obviously won't be able to attack you. Still no response. Anyway, I'm heading back inside. Follow me if you intend to hide here. I turned my back on the mystery group and started walking. I was completely defenseless. If they kill me, they could at least... they could have this hiding spot all to themselves. Yet they followed after me politely. When I staggered, they wouldn't even stop and wait out of consideration for me. One step at a time, I went farther into the building with a hand on the wall, taking care to use a route that could not be seen from the outside. Finally, I found myself back in the cafeteria with the mystery group in tow. This place should be safe. You can eat anything you find here. After that, I went back to my usual spot and sat down again. Where was my bag? I remember I left it here. I felt around the floor next to me with my right hand for the bag that contained the undying flame bomb. Where was it? Where could it be? Oh, fuck! They looted me! The cowards! They looted the blind guy! Something heavy suddenly fell into my lap. Someone had placed something there. I gingerly touched it with my fingertips. It was my bag. You found it for me! I asked my surroundings, but received no response like always. I then put the bag on my shoulders so I should never lose it again. Leaning against the wall, I let my hearing take over. I hear the sound of rummaging for food. It didn't seem like they were interested in attacking me for now. It was likely they would leave once the enemies that were after them ran away. Then I would be back to waiting for day 100 here all alone. So I could witness the ending that everyone made for themselves. Sometime later, I heard the sound of a can being opened. I guess they decided to eat the food that was here. They sat a cautious distance away, but they were still close enough to keep an eye on me. I hope they got to eat something they liked, at least. Since I couldn't see, I couldn't even choose the kind of food I wanted to eat. That reminded me of the fine kinds of pickled fish I had to eat in a row last night. I naively nodded off, even though I hadn't been feeling particularly sleepy, and thus I fell asleep while being surrounded by an unknown number of natives. Perhaps it was because I felt no animosity from them. I could sense they were friends as they huddled closely together to eat and rest in this unknown place. Maybe they were sharing their favorite food with each other. Maybe they were exchanging jokes with each other so quietly that I couldn't hear. Whatever it was, the atmosphere was like a comfortable blanket over my body, warming me up and making me sleepy. Like something I once had myself, up until a short while ago. How did I not realize sooner what a beautiful thing that had that been? Late that night. Somebody was shaking my shoulders. I sensed that I had been surrounded by a few people who were looking down at me. What is it? And through the marks of Sharpies, we can see a face of a young boy, white skin, aquamarine green eyes, short, orange, brown hair.
Why are you here?
It was the voice of a child, a young girl who seemed to be about 8 to 9. a native of this planet, a Futuran child. Thinking back, I realized I'd never met anyone from this planet before, neither during any defensive battles nor when I was with Veshness. Have they been isolated from the war? Maybe in a shelter of sorts like the Tokyo residential complex?
Why are you alone?
The girl asked again. Since she was speaking as their representative, they were likely a group of children. I could sense weariness in her tone of voice. It was as if this was a tense cross-examination, and my responses would determine their next course of action. Well, one thing led to another, and I wasn't allowed to stay with my friends anymore. That's why I came here by myself.
Why? What happened?
I did something bad and ended up hurting the others. That's why I can't stay with them anymore. Upon hearing say something bad, the girl took one step back, an astute decision.
Were you forced out?
No, I went away of my own free will. It's still too dangerous. Just because I don't want you back on the team doesn't mean I want you to force you to leave the school. If you promise to stay in your cell and not interfere with any of us, you can stay. It was so like Takumi to say that. In fact, his word made me waver for a brief moment. I wanted to cling to those words, to selfishly feel like I had been forgiven. But it was pointless for me to stay. I don't belong there. I could never, ever forgive myself for doing the unforgivable to them. That's why I had to leave.
You can't go back anymore?
No, I can't go back anymore. That's why I'm here. What about you? We're being chased by something? At that I could hear murmuring from behind the girl. They seemed to be discussing whether or not to reveal the answer to me.
We can't go back either.
But why not?
Because we broke our promise.
Ah. She sounded so very sad. I didn't know what the other future ones looked like, having only seen the commanders. But it seemed like they felt sadness, the same way we did. What promise did you break? We were told not to go outside, but we all went anyway because we thought we'd be okay. But we got lost and ended up in an unfamiliar place. The monster kept chasing us, and we got farther and farther away from home. And that was how you ended up here? I think she must have nodded. There were other people living on this planet besides the commanders and invaders. At the very least, these children probably had nothing to do with the war. Since they were being pursued, they were likely targets as well. They were targets, even though they had no way of fighting back, unlike us. You don't know how to go back?
No.
There should be a map somewhere in this facility. If you can find it, you may be able to find a way back home. I wish I could help you look for it, but as you can see, I won't be very helpful in that department. Feel free to look for it yourselves. The children, other than the girl in front of me, immediately scatter about in all directions, likely taking my advice to look for the map. There had to be a map somewhere around since maps were indispensable for warfare. They would surely find one if they split up. And once they did, they were likely to depart by tomorrow, leaving me alone here to wait for the end by myself. I heard a soft thud next to me, an indication that the girl in front of had moved to sit down next to me. Huh? She was so close I could touch her if I just stretched my hand out. You're being way too trusting here, Missy. Or maybe she felt like I posed no danger because I couldn't see.
No chance of forgiveness.
No. Oh, you mean me? Yeah, aren't you sad you can't go back? Nah, it's too late for me. Why? Good question. Because the mistake I made was too big to be atoned for. Nobody will forgive me. That's why I can't go back. Okay. She started chomping down ravenously on an open can of food. Most likely these children simply wanted to take a peek at what was going on outside and had not planned to end up so far away from home. The possibility of not being able to make it back would have never occurred to them, since they broke their promise to the adults out of mere curiosity.
Maybe we won't be forgiven too.
She wondered out loud as she ate her food. Not being able to make it back home was not the only worry on these children's minds. They also feared that, like me, they wouldn't be allowed back into the fold again. I could immediately think of a number of encouraging statements I gleaned from the books I had read. But then I would be lying to them, something I was averse to doing to these children. However, that also meant that I now had nothing comforting to say to her, being someone unforgiven myself. In the end, I simply kept quiet. She too said nothing more after that. When the children who had gone searching returned, they huddled back together. Their whispering voices eventually became softer and softer, until everyone fell asleep. With a hand on the bomb in my lap, I eventually drifted to slumber as well. The next morning.
Wake up!
I jolted awake when I felt my arm being tugged on. What happened? Come with us! The children were already awake, but something was clearly wrong. They were as panicked as they had been when they first came here. They pulled me outside second to last Defense Academy. As I felt the wind on my skin, I could also smell the scent of blood mixed with it. Look there! I don't have eyes! I'm sorry, but I can't see. I felt her hands that had just been pulling along suddenly let go, as if she had forgotten that I was blind. Can you describe what's going on? The monsters are going this way. I think they realize there are people here. How many? More than my fingers and toes combined. Too many to count. Some of the children were shouting while others were trying to calm themselves down. Some started crying and others got angry. Nobody expected this to happen. They left their home without thinking too deeply about the consequences. It likely never crossed their mind that leaving was tantamount to breaking their promise. Now they regretted it. They wished they never had left. Now that they were facing the grim reality of death, they were starting to give up. They resigned themselves to the possibility that they might die without ever being forgiven. Did you find it? What? The way home. Yes, we found a map. But there's no point, we still can't go back. Why not? Because of the monsters, or because you might not be forgiven for breaking your promise? No answer. Perhaps with a little bit of both. How about this? I'll hold those monsters back, and you guys run away once you find an opening. That isn't going to work. You can't fight. Hey, you give me too little credit. I'm actually pretty strong, and I even have a weapon. But you can't see. I'll make it work somehow. Anyway, can you do that? Can you do what I just said?
But we broke our promise. Everyone must be so mad at us.
The sound of rumbling and stomping became louder and louder even as we spoke. I didn't need to use my enhanced hearing to know this was clearly a large army. Not as many as the ones we faced in our defensive battle, but more than enough to cause a group of helpless children to despair. Time was quickly running out. I had to convince these children to flee right now. Listen, I won't say everything will be fine. That will be really irresponsible of me since I have no idea if you will be forgiven for what you did. Instead, I'll tell you something I want you to remember. Words from the bottom of my heart. From a person whose life is based on made-up promises, goals, and grudges. Feelings I hadn't been able to convey until now.
Forgiveness isn't something dispensed on the spot, but based on the actions you choose to take after the mistake.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is, what will you do from now on?
So...
If you want forgiveness, work hard to gain it, instead of dwelling on your mistakes. While there's still time for you to redeem yourself.
What do we do from now on?
I took out my infuser and drove it to my chest. There were likely no commanders among the approaching swarm. I could take a group of minions by myself. Now go!
But what about you?
I said go! I shot at them angrily. The girl bolted at my command and the other children quickly followed. The little footsteps eventually fade into the distance. Good, get as far away as you can. This strategy of mine wouldn't work otherwise. The next thing I heard was MV stomping, indicating the invaders were marching ever closer. I gripped my weapon tightly and waited for them to get close. They would be pleasantly surprised to find me here. It was like they would prefer to hunt a planet invader like me over native children. The children wouldn't be pursued. They would be safe, as long as I could keep the enemies here. Well, here goes nothing. Ah! I could sense my class weapon tearing the enemy apart with that swing. Good. Let me follow that up with... right, left, front, back. The invaders started attacking non-stop. Whenever I felt something hit my body, I would swing my weapon in that direction. It worked because it guaranteed I would hit something. I kept repeating this while moving around. However... well, this was a shame. I thought it would have lasted longer than this. I had underestimated the sheer force of their numbers. The school invaders lunged at me as one when I left myself open after an attack. My class armor protected me, but it has its limits. Since my data has been removed from the Rivomatic again, I would be killed for real if I continue fighting. But I couldn't let them kill me. They would continue chasing the children if they did. So that's why you took your bomb? I had to take out every last invader here and now if I wanted the children to be safe. But why? Just my pride, I suppose? Even I had my pride. Ending a defective life by using it to protect someone else wasn't that bad of an idea. Although my efforts to gain forgiveness came a tad bit too late, I was still a former member of the Special Defense Unit. That said, I also knew I was fighting a losing battle. At my current strength, couldn't fight this many enemies at once. Couldn't even be proper bait or stall for time. Only one thing left to do then. A concerted attack knocked my class weapon out of my hand. Oh, now you've done it! The invaders surrounded me, now defenseless, and started battering me with all their might. Excruciating pain rippled through my body despite the protection of the class armor. I thought I might lose consciousness before death paid me a visit. The weight on top of me became heavier and heavier. More and more invaders were piling on me so that they might kill me. That'll do. That'll do just fine. It's time.
It's time.
I reached inside the bag that I'd been shielding with my body and touched the button that would detonate the bomb.
Huh?
The answer to your question is yes, that is indeed possible. But what would even be the point? Very well, I assume I get to choose which memory to implant. Even though all that does is deepen the emptiness in your heart, well, I certainly won't stop you if that is what you want. I would have preferred for you to become a proper war asset instead of whatever this is.
Yeah.
That is my honest opinion. I asked Siri for a favor back then. He took me to the infirmary and carried out the requested procedure. Memory manipulation. At first, I thought about asking him to erase all my memories. Everything would be gone. Sadness, anger, remorse, everything. But it was only right for me to die as my own self. My own buggy, corrupted, and defective selves. I was the burden I had to bear until the bitter end. So I made that selfish request. For non-existent memories. So this is the scene of the swim meet. But Eto's not there. It's everybody else. Oh, Darumi is here too, I realize. Darumi is in the water, having two guns. She, squirting at Moko and Eva at the same time. Eto is with Yugamu playing volleyball, and Takumi is with Kyoshika playing volleyball. Everybody else is here. So yeah, Darumi has a red bikini, but with a translucid, silky t-shirt. And Kyoshika, something stylized. It's like a one piece, but it's cut in the back, so it's like full swimsuit in the front, but bikini out from the back. Just realized you guys have the one sexy speedo. Memories of me having a great time with everyone, while being aware of the duplicity of these memories, that they were all lies. Yet, here I was right now, surrounded by the warmth and happiness I felt back then.
Takumi, everyone, it's unfortunate I won't get to witness how things turn out for you. But I'm praying for your victory. No, actually, I'm praying for your happiness. From the bottom of my heart.